Alright, what's up? Why am I here again? Shit. Hey everybody, and welcome back to my book club. So, right, it rained yesterday and that fucked up my life. And because it rained yesterday, and because my mirror isn't doing what I wanted to, I was not able to film the trailer breakdown of I'm Thinking of Ending Things. I'm sorry to those of you who are looking forward to it, and if I look like I'm rushing, it's because I am, because that bitch Storm from X-Men is here, and it looks like it's about to rain. So if halfway through the video, the lighting and quality is horrible, it's because it's raining, and I closed all the windows in this room, and I probably cried. But you're gonna forgive me, because you're good people. So without further ado, here is my late-ass reaction and breakdown to the trailer of I'm Thinking of Ending Things, which is super late and oh my goodness, cringe. So before I get into the trailer reaction, I actually did pre-record the reaction the day itself when it came out, so soon, in a few moments, I'm going to show you my very authentic and in-the-moment reaction to this trailer. But before I get into that, I want to talk about a few stuff. So for those of you who don't know, this is one of my favorite books of all time, and as such, this was a film that I was highly anticipating. So if you read the book, please consider watching my spoiler-filled thoughts on it. I have a separate video covering that. But for now, alright, let's begin. So first, I want to talk about director Charlie Kaufman himself. So his most recent film is Anomalisa, and I have seen that film, actually. And I definitely call his films art, but I don't know if I'd say that they're for mass consumption. They're very introspective, and many have argued that Charlie Kaufman only makes films for him and himself. And as such, he takes huge breaks in between projects, like he did here. I believe his last film came out 5 years ago, and I don't know, he reflects like a monk, I suppose. He puts himself in isolation and just like thinks about stuff, and then whatever he reflects on is what the next movie's about. Or at least that's what my theory is. He's a thinker. He's a modern-day philosopher who conveys his philosophy through the cinematic medium. That's how I describe him. So it appears that Netflix and Ian Reid's fascinating source material have raised Mr. Kaufman from the grave. For those of you who are unfamiliar with the work of Charlie Kaufman, let me just say that he is known for making films about characters who are having identity crises, who are questioning their own mortality and the meaning of life, and he does so through various complex philosophical frameworks. Some can say that his work is very surrealist, like a painting of Salvador Dali, like this, and this, and this. And personally, his films remind me stylistically of the ones of Michel Gondry. For those of you who don't know who Michel Gondry is, he did The Science of Sleep, Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind, and Mood Indigo, and I actually bring up Eternal Sunshine because Charlie Kaufman actually wrote that film. I sound super disorganized, I know. So I was looking up some of Mr. Kaufman's influences and doing research on him, and it was revealed to me that he's actually a huge fan of Stanislaw Lem. I too am a huge fan of Stanislaw Lem. Actually, I don't know where my copy is, but Solaris is my second favorite book of all time. And it's one that I've recommended to everyone that no one's read, so I will love it all on my own. As for director influences on Mr. Kaufman, he has cited films by David Lynch, who I love, and who I originally wanted to direct this film, if you watched my breakdown, but I have retracted that sentiment, and now I do think that Charlie Kaufman is the man for the job. And get this, Lars von Trier. He is a fan of Lars von Trier. If you know me, you know that Mr. Lars von Trier, Mr. Breaking the Waves, Mr. Dancer in the Dark, Mr. The House That Jack Built is my favorite director of all time. I have it in my Twitter bio. Don't follow me. So dare I say, we stan. We stan. So I actually recorded my reaction to the trailer 2 evenings ago, and I was such a fucking mess. So please excuse the emotionally unhinged, flailing mess that is me. And without further ado, here is the trailer reaction from 2 nights ago to I'm Thinking of Ending Things by Charlie Kaufman. Okay, hello everybody. The time is here, the time is now. They have officially just dropped the I Am Thinking of Ending Things trailer, and okay, if I look disorganized, it's because I ran up to this room with a quickness. The second I got that Twitter notification from the playlist that the trailer was out, I was like, the rest of the day is canceled, we need to film this recording. And I was thinking of like watching it and then doing like a scene-by-scene review, but no, I need to capture my entire authentic first-hand reaction to this because this is the book I have covered the most on this channel, and this is one of the most anticipated films I have of the year. So yes, I am filming on the front camera. I didn't have time to set everything up. It probably looked like shit, but the rest of this video will not. And I'm looking at the trailer now. I am like, I literally, oh my goodness, I can't. Oh my god. Okay. Whew. Okay. Pressing play right now. Now. 3, 2, 1. Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my goodness. Okay. I don't have any words right now, but okay. Okay. Alright, okay. Okay. Here's the reaction. It looks so good. It looks both like a Charlie Kaufman film and like I can't even talk. It looks like a Charlie Kaufman film. It looks exactly like the book. Well, it has some difference. Oh my goodness, because like in the book, she's only in that house for like, you know, those few hours that they have dinner. So I'm gonna have to watch this trailer again. It was a lot. It looks beautiful. It looks like they shot it in the Academy ratio. I did not know that going in. Okay, at first I was quite apprehensive when I first saw the poster because the poster looked like not the book. The poster, I'm gonna put the graphic up over here. It looks like a movie that is a comedy. Like it says, you know, I'm thinking of anything. And then you have Jessie Buckley over here looking like she's in an awkward family dinner and just wants to escape there. It kind of looks like a dark comedy, and the trailer does have some dark comedic stuff. So I suppose the poster is why the poster is, and I can't even talk right now. Right. It does have the look and feel of a Charlie Kaufman film. Whereas the book was more along the lines of an A24 horror film, I think this one is going to be a more cerebral. It's going to try to make you think more than it is going to try to scare you, I think. So I am very pumped. I will be covering the film when it comes out. So yeah, that is my reaction to one of my most anticipated films of the year, probably my most anticipated film of the year, and an adaptation of one of my all-time favorite books. So, thank you for watching me lose it. Thank you for watching me completely fail at giving commentary because I'm completely at a loss for words. Until then. Okay, on to the rest of the video because I'm obviously going to be talking about this some more. Okay, so that was my reaction to the trailer. Clearly I am a big fan and clearly I am very excited. And clearly there were no words that came out of my mouth. So now I will say the words. Okay, so now what we're going to do is get into a trailer breakdown. I'm going to go through the scenes in the trailer shot by shot. This part will contain spoilers. If you have not read this book, I advise you click off now, because I will only be spoiling the book. I haven't seen the film yet, so I obviously can't spoil a film I haven't seen. But I can spoil the book, and I will spoil the book, because there's no way I can discuss the scenes in this trailer with substance if I don't allude to what they, you know, mean to me based on what I have read on the book. So spoiler, you have been warned, I'm starting now. Okay, so the first shot I want to talk about is the first shot in the trailer. And this is it. The aspect ratio, oh my gosh, it's like the 4.3 aspect ratio, very reminiscent of the standardized Academy aspect ratio in 1932, although similar sized ratios were used as early as 1928, you know. So this square-like aspect ratio seems to have gotten trendy again. Directors like Robert Eggers, Andrea Arnold, and Wes Anderson, those trendy mise-en-scène darlings, seem to use them all the time in all of their films. So now Charlie Kaufman gets to use it. And I think this is a fantastic creative choice on his part because this is a book about a character who is looking back on his life and deciding if he wants to keep living. So yeah, that's the plot twist. So an aspect ratio that was famous in the past that's now being used to tell this story is appropriate to me. The previous directors I have mentioned used it for its aesthetic purposes, but I think Kaufman had more in mind when he chose to use this aspect ratio. Namely because as a filmmaker, he's looking back, and as a protagonist, Jake is looking back on his past and circling back to where he is now, deciding whether or not he wants to keep his life. So the second shot I want to talk about is this one. And it is them in the car, and you can already see the symbolism. Oh my goodness, this is girlfriend. She's looking into a cracked mirror. And as I said in my coverage of the book, this is a story about identity. So we learn that Jake and girlfriend are the same person, right? And when girlfriend, by extension Jake, looks in the mirror is shattered. Oh my goodness. Okay, so when you look in a mirror, you see yourself. You validate that you exist and that you are who you are. You know, we are who we are. We look in the mirror. That's the proof. But when the mirror is shattered, you're unable to fully achieve that validation because all you see are shards, and shards of your humanity, or, you know, not humanity, but like, you know, your physical understanding of yourself. So you see pieces of a puzzle, but not the complete puzzle. And in the book, Jake says that getting to know someone is like putting a never-ending puzzle together. Actual quote. So now all he sees are pieces of a puzzle, fragments of who he is, and oh my goodness, it's so good. And this is just one shot, so like how on earth can we dissect a film that's obviously gonna be full of symbolism? I'm definitely gonna have to watch this movie more than once, even though I don't know if I can stomach it. Interestingly enough, this book is only about 200 pages. It's very short. And the audiobook is only 5 hours, so if you listen to that sped up, 2.5 hours, you'll be done with the entire book. This film, however, is 2 hours and 14 minutes. It's a long movie. For all we know, he, like, really adapted it. So the next shot I want to talk about is this one, and this is the one of the dog that's, like, wagging the water off itself, and it's, like, doing so longer than it should. Several people that I have discussed this trailer with have said that this shot was the one that they found to be the creepiest one, and I agree. So this book is classified as a horror book, and this image over here is one that creeped me out, as I said. And alright, this is what I think this scene symbolizes. So I said in my analysis, we learned that all of this is taking place in Jake's head and that his parents have been dead for years now, right? So since this story all takes place in his head, he has full control over time and can relive things as many times as he wants. So this dog is something that brought him joy in life, but this shot of a dog is not a happy one, it's a dark and creepy one. So with this wagging dog image, Jake is repeating an image of a cute dog over and over again, but hard as he tries to get happiness from the image, he just can't find it. And this is true for people who suffer from crippling mental illness. Things that would normally make you someone happy just don't have the same effect anymore when you are perpetually sad. So this is pure genius to me, and this just confirms to some extent that the story did resonate with Charlie Kaufman on a cellular level. Mr. Kaufman does try to understand the essence of the novel, and I love it. Okay, the next scene is, oh my god, Toni Collette and David Thewlis, I can't remember his name, but Toni Collette, idol, stan. So even scarier than the dog is Toni Collette's hair. What on earth, fam? What is this? You can see that the two actors playing the parents are taking the eccentricness to the next level. It was supposed to be set in a barn, and the house did seem to be a bit put together. I did like that no lights were on in the house, so that was good. And to me, this symbolizes that there's no light taking place where Jake once had happiness. And thinking of happy things just makes him sadder. So you see a house with his parents, but all the lights are down, the color tone is super muted. So it's like what once was happiness just makes you depressed because we learned that the parents are dead, right? So like this is what's supposed to be a happy memory, is just making him sadder. So the next two images I'm gonna break down was actually a juxtaposition in the trailer. It was one scene placed beside another scene. And it's the one of Toni Collette looking young, juxtaposed with her on her deathbed. So you're gonna see the two images on the screen. And when this part came out, the voiceover in the trailer said, "I feel like I was seeing them as they were." This is because in the book, Jake is old and his parents have died. So he's seeing all of this again, using his memories and emotions to substantiate his decision. And this is very interesting. This was a very interesting creative choice because it looked so different from what I imagined in the book. Like, clearly in the trailer it conveys that they spend a lot more time in the house than they did in the book. My suspicion is maybe they spend some days at the house, like maybe the girlfriend sleeps over. Because in the book they're only there for like an hour or two for dinner. Over here there were some outfit changes in the trailer, so I can only assume that they spent more time in the house than they did when they were in the book. Okay. So the next image I want to talk about is the Dairy Queen. The girl in the Dairy Queen who was like, you know, saying those cryptic things to girlfriend before she left. So the girl in the Dairy Queen says, "You don't have to go forward." And this scene did come out in the book, and I didn't address it in my analysis because it didn't impact me as much. So now I can clearly see it on screen, and to me it looks like a Dairy Queen in the middle of nowhere, right? And since this is all in Jake's head, I can only assume that the dark and stormy night is the dark and stormy psyche of Jake. and that this Dairy Queen is a last-ditch effort from the very depths of his subconscious. And I say this because Dairy Queen is probably something he associates with happiness, one of the few things that actually brought him fleeting joy in life. And now it's begging him to stay alive. So that's what I think this scene is meant to convey. Next image I want to talk about is this one, and this was my favorite part in the trailer. Oh my god, let me just tell you guys, oh my goodness. This was my favorite part in the trailer. It was so creepy, and it's the part when Jake and girlfriend are looking at a childhood photo, and they both see themselves in the childhood photo. Like, when I was reading this in the book, I was like so confused. I was like, oh my goodness, what are they looking at? And I was desperately hoping that Charlie Kaufman would find a way to put this in the movie, and he did, and it's perfect. It's so good. It's so good. I didn't imagine it like this in the book, but the way it looks in this trailer is so awesome. It's better than what I imagined it to be. Okay, so the next image I want to talk about is this scene with the girlfriend in the school. So this is the part in the book when they're making out in the car and Jake sees a man watching them, and then he goes in after the man, and then the girlfriend runs in after Jake. So this school is where Jake worked in the winter of his life, towards the end of his life, I mean. See what I did there? And this is when he decides that he can't take it anymore. When he comes to the ultimate decision is when he's working in this school. So he remembers when he works in the school, and in the school is when they find his diary beside his dead body. And there's a note saying, and I'm paraphrasing here because I didn't take note of this quote, but the note says, "You have to circle back to the beginning to understand why he did what he did." So that's what this story is, in my opinion. This school is the winter of his life, and we're taken on a journey through a psyche of a man who is considering killing himself. And it ends with us at the end. So we're meeting him where he is after having understood where he's coming from, and it's so good. Oh my goodness. The last shot I want to talk about is this one, and it looks so good. Oh my goodness. It's a car, it's getting snowed on, but it's on a green field where no snow is going down, and this is such a good looking shot. Like, this would make an amazing shot in a horror movie. But this shot is so Michel Gondry, like, it seems like an ode to films like Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind. You know, those depressing yet surrealist films that you can't look away from. So I suppose Charlie Kaufman's giving an ode to his friend, his good friend. So I'm gonna end on this shot, the shot of the car. And so we can see a car being snowed on. As we know, in this car is Jake and girlfriend. They are the passengers of this car, and they are the same person. And around this car you see grass. So simply put, grass is green, and the color green symbolizes hope in some literary contexts. So this shot conveys that despite seeing a world of hope around him, Jake sees that there is no hope for him and that he has accepted his death already. And I love all this stuff because, as I said in my video, there's a whole entire discourse on how we as humans depend on symbols for meaning. We accept, reject, and discern through the use of symbols. So seeing that there is so much symbolic stuff in the trailer and so much stuff that we can assign meaning to, and so much stuff that you can already assign meaning to just looking at them if you have read and understood what the book is about. There's just so much. It looks really good. I suppose the thing I'm most worried about is people chucking up this film to be style over substance. Because as someone who's read the book, I know that I had that feeling at first as well. But when I truly dug into it and thought about what I had read, I took that back because there was so much substance, and based on the trailer, I don't think Charlie Kaufman neglected to include any of the substance, and the acting looks really good, the vibe looks really good, and I'm just super, super excited, and I hope you are too. So yeah, that is my dissection slash breakdown slash review of the trailer. The trailer alone gives me confidence that Charlie Kaufman has knocked it out of the park, I dare say. And it didn't rain, oh my goodness, the lighting looks good. Maybe the audio is a bit shaky because someone was making noise out there. But yeah, all in all, thank you for watching. Like, comment, subscribe, share this video with your friends, and I will love you forever. But until then, I hope to see you in the next video, so take care.